We're standing right on the edge of a massive robotic revolution, but it's probably not the one you're picturing. This isn't about robots getting stronger or faster. No, this is about them getting smarter. We are literally witnessing a leap from robots that just do things to robots that can actually understand them.
It's a fantastic question, right? How can an AI write a perfect poem, but a multi-million-dollar robot can't sort your socks? Well, it's because the digital world, where AI lives, is neat and tidy. The real world, it's messy, it's chaotic, it's got gravity and friction and things that spill. And that has been the single biggest roadblock for robotics, until now. So to really get how researchers are finally starting to break through that barrier, we first need to take a step back and look at a huge shift in AI itself, a totally new blueprint for how we build intelligence.
Just take a look at the difference here. The old way, well, if you wanted an AI to recognize cats, you had to build a cat recognizer from the ground up. If you wanted one for dogs, you had to start all over again and build a dog recognizer. Each one was a huge, expensive, siloed project. The new way? It's so much smarter. You build one giant model that's been pre-trained on tons of data, and then you can easily adapt it to do all sorts of different things.
So what exactly is a foundation model? Honestly, the best way to think about it is like a brilliant new hire who has read the entire internet. They have this incredible base of general knowledge. They don't know the specifics of your company just yet, but because they know so much about the world, you can get them up to speed on almost any task incredibly quickly. And here's the three-step magic behind it. First, you pre-train the model on just a staggering amount of broad data. Then you adapt that massive model for your specific job using something called transfer learning. That's like giving our brilliant new hire your company's employee handbook. But here's the really wild part. The model starts doing things you never explicitly taught it. These are called emergent capabilities, and they're a sign of something that looks a lot like genuine understanding. Okay, so how does all this AI theory actually connect to physical robots? Well, that brings us to the first big experiment in this space, Google's Robotics Transformer 1, or just RT-1. This was really the first major attempt to build a robot brain using this whole new foundation model approach.
Now, the number one problem they ran into with RT-1 was data. I mean, you can't just have a robot download the internet to learn physical skills. So they had to create the data themselves. Get this. They had 13 different robots working in office kitchens for 17 months, just collecting data on how to do simple things. We're talking 130,000 examples of picking up a sponge or opening a drawer. It was an absolutely massive effort. And you know what? It actually worked. This single model, RT-1, learned over 700 different skills with a 97% success rate. And even cooler, it could learn from different types of robots and then share that knowledge. RT-1 was a huge proof of concept. It was a real game changer. But here's the thing about RT-1. It was still only learning from its own, limited physical experiences. The next step, RT-2, was, well, it was something else entirely. This wasn't just an upgrade. It was a completely different philosophy for how a robot could learn about the world. And this was the question that changed everything. What if, instead of painstakingly showing a robot how to do every little thing, you could just plug it in? What if you could let it tap into the vast collective knowledge of the entire internet? What if a robot could learn just by reading and seeing the web? Here is the absolute genius idea that unlocked it all. The researchers figured out how to translate a robot's physical movements into text tokens, basically into a language. Every twist of an arm, every bit of pressure from a gripper, it all became a word in this new robot language. And that meant an AI that understands human language could now learn to speak robot. This breakthrough led to a whole new kind of AI, the Vision Language Action Model, or VLA. So instead of building a robot brain from scratch, they just took one of those giant AIs that had already learned from all the text and images on the web, and they made that the robot's brain. They gave it a massive head start. So what can a robot with an internet-sized brain actually do? Well, this is where it gets kind of magical. We are talking about a fundamental shift from robots that just follow a script to robots that seem to genuinely understand the intent behind what you're asking. Just look at these numbers. It's night and day. When faced with a task it had never, ever seen before, the first model, RT-1, got it right about a third of the time. Not bad. But RT-2? It succeeded almost 2/3 of the time. That's nearly double the performance. That is a massive leap in a robot's ability to generalize and think on its feet. And here's the core reason why. RT-1 was basically a sophisticated pattern matching machine, but RT-2 has what we call semantic understanding. It doesn't just see pixels that look like a red, round object. It knows it's an apple. It knows an apple is a fruit, that you can eat it, that it grows on trees. It understands the meaning of things because it learned from the internet. And this understanding leads to some truly mind-blowing abilities. You can ask it to get a drink for a tired person, and it will reason that an energy drink is a good choice. You can tell it to move a banana to the sum of 2 plus 1, and it'll do the math and place it on the number 3. It can even understand the concept of an improvised hammer and pick up a rock. This isn't just following commands. This is real-world abstract problem solving. So let's pull the camera back for a second and look at the big picture. What does a breakthrough this massive actually mean for the future of physical robots out there in the world? Right now, most of this research is happening on robotic arms. But the clear next step is putting these powerful new brains into humanoid robots, because let's face it, our world is designed for the human form. And then long-term, you can imagine an entire ecosystem of robots, some that look like us and others that are highly specialized for one specific job. But let's be clear, we are not there yet. There are still major technical hurdles to clear, like getting more diverse data, making them work in real time, and most importantly, making them safe. And this technology raises some really critical ethical questions we need to start talking about now. I mean, if a robot's brain is trained on the internet, what biases is it learning? What happens to jobs? And who is accountable when one of these AI robots inevitably causes harm? And this leads directly to how this stuff will likely be sold. Building these incredible AI brains is astronomically expensive. So what we're probably going to see is a new business model emerge. You'll buy the physical robot, the body, from one company, and then license its brain from an AI company, almost like software, robotic brain as a service. Which brings us right back to that final crucial question. When a robot running a brain license from a different company makes a mistake and causes damage, who is to blame, the hardware maker or the software developer? As these truly thinking machines start to enter our lives, that's a puzzle we're all going to have to solve together.